beautiful context setting for such a knowledge summit can only be done by mulling on the strong opportunities and challenges ahead. And that's exactly what we are going to do in our first session. This is being led by none other than the President of the World Design Organization and also the Chief Executive Officer of Lumium, Mr. Srinivasan. It's my pleasure to bring him on stage.
So while we are settling down, so let me say good morning to all of us. It's indeed a great pleasure to see Kochi Design Week make its second edition and a more prominent and much larger audience. So it's indeed my pleasure on behalf of World Design Organization. We are here today. One of the things that's been happening, so I have a quick small presentation. The topic given was design and challenges. Over the last few years, I have been going around the cities around the globe, and there's only one common thing that the governments and cities are actually focusing. That is design, how to make their cities better through design. So this is one of the key topics. Kochi is no different. And we have same issues with Hyderabad, Bangalore, and other cities in China and other places. So I was very happy to see when the cities, especially the governments, are listening to the message of design. So which was very pleasant meeting for me with Mr. Shivashankar last year. We spent a lot of time discussing how do we make Kochi on the design map of the globe. So I'm very happy that within one short year, from a handful of people who are actually sitting in this very same room to having rooms, and also Arun tells me that there were more demand for people to come. So what do we do through these design events? What is the government trying to do? So we are actually trying to get the people of the cities get more excited. For example, Kochi is very well known for the art Biennale. Dear boss is here. But we need to put the city for its citizens, just not for only one aspect of our life, which could be art. And that's what we do at World Design Organization. So if you look at what we do, so this is the, again, one of the first. As I took over as a president in October in a very beautiful ceremony in Hyderabad, Hyderabad became the very first city in India to host a World Design Assembly, which is our every biannual event where we elect new board of directors. So what do we do? Our job at World Design Organization, which is started in 1957 in Europe, slowly the focus is moving towards the east. There are more members in the eastern part of the world than the west. We overtook because of our desire to emulate and beat the western side. So there's a desire in all of us to see what we can do through design. And as WDO, we connect the communities. We work with them. We share the information from one city to another, and we bring the energy into the cities, such we are seeing in Kochi, we are seeing it in other cities also. And part of the reason they listen to us is, we are also UN consultative status for the protection of industrial design and commonly design in many aspects, as the design boundaries have fallen in the last few years. So it's no longer silos of industrial design, graphic design, or interaction design. Those boundaries have been, it's like a flowing water, so you can actually talk design to any part of the world with the same energy that brings the city to highlight. So this information, for example, could be shared to some city in, say, Brazil, Sao Paulo, to another event I could share. And that's what WDO does at its best, by sharing knowledge and information throughout the world. In the year 2015, the UN came up with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, because of the fact I see a lot of us are below the 30-year threshold, I always like to ask. So we actually need to protect the world for the future generations. And one of the aspects that we could do is making us more responsible towards the cities and the geographies that we are living together. So they came up with the program of 17 goals, which covers about 169 different topics. Each of those topics are touching our lives in some form or the other. So that's what these 17 goals are actually very important. It's very important for us to remind ourselves every single day. In this context, I'm very happy to see the plastic bottles have gone and given birth to the glass bottles and glasses. So that is one of the good things that we are doing. So out of the 17 goals, not every one of us can follow all of the goals, but at least we must take what we can do in each of those goals that will help us. By 2030, we are already feeling the stress. It's only 10 years more. But the UN goal at that time in 2015 was to make the world a better place in terms of ending poverty, which is a much, much larger goal. And then access to education, that's something which we are all doing. So that's what we try to do. So now we are actually taken these 7 goals which are directly related to design. So these are the ones, if you follow the goal number 11, so we are saying sustainable cities and communities. If you build a sustainable city and community, then obviously you are covering all of the 17 goals. So the other important aspect is number 12, which is responsible consumptions. All of us, in every aspect of our lives, we are guilty of not following the goal number 12 because we consume, we waste more than what we should. So that's something that we need to really worry about. So if you worry about 11 and 12, you are actually taking care of a lot of those things. So what do? We have many programs. One of them is the World Design Capital, which we announced in October. Valencia from Spain has been awarded the city's best city in the world for the year 2022. 2024 is still open. We also do World Design Talks. Similar to this, pick a topic of sustainable development goals and bring people who are very relevant of that subject matter and have a half a day of talk, and then the remaining half a day, this whole community will design a prototype of the problem for that particular geography. So this could be a problem that Kochi especially faces. We could come back and create a program, customize it so that at the end of the exercise, we present it to the Kochi government or the Kerala Chief Minister. This is the prototype this audience of 500 plus people created. We don't have the political power. The political will of the city which is conducting determines what happens after we do this kind of programs. The other thing which we do is the World Design Impact Prize, where a simple solution that solves, as an example, Akshay Patra is there in India. Similarly, there are so many, there was another program in Pune where they were giving the ill-nourished kids a protein-based laddu, and they were monitoring the progress over a period of time. One of the things that we have been pushed by cities during the last several years is, in our membership, cities cannot be members. You have to be a company, a big corporate, or a small studio, or you can be a promotion agency like design centers, or it could be educational institutions. This is what the membership of WDO is. Due to the demand that cities have been asking us, so we were actually in a dilemma because we also award a city a World Design Capital. So are we going to award only those members who are part of us is the dilemma. We did not want to have that as a pillar. But in October, we actually were very happy to bring a new pillar of cities, where now cities can become a member of WDO. How it is important is cities can no longer just do only once a year WDO with Kochi or WDO with Bangalore. We can interact on a daily basis and learn what others are doing. Therefore, the knowledge of the city, especially the city government, becomes much more in terms of the design and the design awareness. So we also introduced a World Design Corporate Circle, where the leading corporations around the globe, $1 billion plus kind of revenues, come together to share common challenges in implementing the sustainability or responsible consumption relevant to the business, and share that among those people. So we don't put Apple and Samsung together. We want to make it non-compete so that they can freely share. And we share that in a World Design Report every 2 years. So incidentally, during the discussion that we did, we also came up, the best part of WTO is we are here for everybody. There's no single winner, loser kind of a concept. So during the 2022 World Design Capital, so Bangalore became the second city that was shortlisted, and Bangalore also came up with the different program as to how a city can make life better for the citizens through a longer program than 1 year of celebrations. So Geeta, my dear Geeta sitting here, so she put together a fantastic proposal how cities, especially mega cities, 10 million plus population, how they can use design to make it very beautiful for the living for the years to come. This includes, the service design for the citizens, how do we bring the government closer to the society, all those beautiful challenges of a city. I say beautiful because they can be solved. So they are not ugly challenges, but they are beautiful challenges. We are here to solve the challenges, and design can solve challenges. So therefore, I'm very happy to make the first formal announcement. So WTO announced a brand new program for the benefit of cities. It's called World Design Protopolis, and Bangalore is chosen as the very first city. Thank you, Geeta, and congratulations to you. So we are going to work with the Karnataka government, especially the Bangalore city government, in the next few weeks as the year unfolds. So they will become the first protopolis. There are so many cities who want to do that, but Bangalore showed the way, saying that we want to do something for a longer period of scenario. Around the same topic, I would like to request Mr. Shivasankaran sir, it's all great to have these kind of events, but measurability is what we are worried about. I also have the opportunity to go and see other cities, other part of the world, not naming the parts. But all that we do is a glittering ceremony. And next year I go to the same ceremony to give a keynote address. Nobody knew what happened last year. So while Arun very nicely, eloquently presented the quantitative aspects of how many speakers, how many partners, how many people came, I would feel very happy when we are able to say, this is the impact. We changed the city which was having a small problem in this place, today, before, after. If you can show one picture for 1 year, that is the progress. That is the progress the city government can take pride. We as designers, we solve problems every day for commercial gain. We just do some design, charge money and move on. But for a city, they have no such motive of profit making. They have motive in the welfare of the citizens. They want to make sure that the citizens thought this was the time, this problem was solved in this way. So if you can make one slide by next year, I will be the happiest, and I tell this to all the cities, and I'm still waiting for the city to do it. So I'm hoping Kerala will take the lead and they'll become the first one. So I'm taking this as a positive note, not as a negative note. So because we can always self-criticize. Criticism is very easy, but it's always very tough to make one small, if you want to make this street one way, there'll be 2,000 petitions why it should not be. I may be living on the top floor of the building and I may be influential. I will say, no, my car should go here. So this is the world we are living in. So this is an appropriate slide. All of us are in a mess. If you thought otherwise, please, this is a good slide to remind us. We are in a daily mess. We don't even know that we are in a mess because we say, oh, to chalta hai yaar, this is normal life, So if you walk into Shanghai or if you walk into Istanbul, if you go into Rabat, this is what we are seeing on a daily basis. So we have a beautiful, the designers, they never step back. Designers are crazy people. We all know that. That's why we are all here to find out how can we do things. We love challenges. We love challenges which are impossible. As a design company, people come to me when they have already failed in other places. But as a sucker, we say, oh, that's great. We should take this and do some new things. Maybe it's not solvable, but we are crazy enough to take on those challenges. So for every problem of the city, there is something that we can do without any problem. So recognizing the need is a primary condition for design. Mr. Sunil Kumar said in his earlier address, saying that, design is nothing but problem solving. So that's what our famous designers of yesteryears have said that also. Recognizing the need is quite important for all of us. And among the big mess of things that I showed 2 slides back, these are all the problems that I picked 8 different silos of those challenges that we are forcing ourselves to live. I also heard that we are having a nice little 96 square feet of little selfie house that we are all going to live. Then how did that arrive? Through design. So how are we solving? If you're going to do the living space, clothing, food and beverages, all these challenges, 8 silos, have changed over time. You all go back to your grandfather's days, great-grandfather's days, and compare what was happening, how you were eating, what were you wearing, how you were walking. Today, what was your office? I still remember when I first started working for IBM, we need to have a card key. If you go 2 minutes late, your half a day salary will be cut. Today, we cannot do that in any company because there is a different global workforce and the methods are totally different. So, how are we solving? What are the designers doing in general? We are worried about user experience. It's a deliberate attempt to put there. Previously, I've said in the earlier presentations, companies spend their time, come with a product, then say, oh, do you want this product? Do you want this product? Because of the brand of the company, people used to buy the product. If it was Tata, if it was Godrej, if it was Google, people were buying product. But those days are gone because people have started saying, demand, I want this. The startups come and upset the whole rhythm of the large companies by coming with a very cool product because they talked to 600 people in a conference and said, what would be the best thing that you want to do? And that's what is user experience. Of course, we need to have technologies. Nobody wants to have any bulky stuff or a very complicated products. Everything should be cool. What do you mean by cool? It should be very elite, it should be very nice, very fashionable, and very functional. And it should be appealing to the users. So designers are becoming more and more challenged by the environment because of user experience. You can never make a user happy. Take it from me, it's impossible. I'm also a user, I'm never happy with anything because we always want more. And the environment in which we are living, we have to take care of that as well. So if you don't take care of the environment, then we have problems and the solutions become irrelevant in a very short period of time. What is fashion? Why the trend is changing? Because the environment in which it was meant for is no longer valid. The user who was using it is no longer happy. And the technology that you are using is no longer valid. So these are the main reasons where design keeps track of these things to come up with the very ideal and most beautiful solutions all the time. And I just borrowed one of the authors, John Dewey's need of hierarchy, self-fulfillment, satisfaction. We need to ask, what does this do? How does it help? Does it help you? Does it help me? Those are, it's deliberately given in a very small print. So this is a slide I picked up. Efficiency. We need to find out how efficient we are, how effective one can be, and is it utilitarian? And finally, is it safe to use the product? Those are some of the key aspects of the needs that we need to, as designers, we need to follow those. And how are we solving? All of us are doing this, whether you are called a designer or not. So we actually pick up the challenge. We can throw the challenge to the audience here. They will pick up and they will come back with a very nice prototype. May be good, may not be good, doesn't matter. The shades of gray, 50, 100, whatever they are. We do the basic research. Who wants this product? As designers, one thing that we are taught, always question, question again, question again, question again. So that never ends. We continue to question to arrive at the nucleus of what will be needed for this environment, for this time, for this user. So that's what we do in number 2. And of course, there are many ways to solve a problem. There's no one solution that fits all kind of a scenario. So we actually go and work together to ideate. What do you mean by ideate? Ideate is, throwing ideas on a wall and making sure some of them could be best from one idea. We pick only those. Similarly, we do a round robin and come up with the product which is acceptable to the same environment, audience, people, technology. And then, of course, we do the prototype, test, and unlock the solution. So this is what we can do for every problem that we have. Of course, when you look at the living spaces, we worry today about sustainability. If you're building a house, we were looking at material that could be reused or something that has been reclaimed. Affordability is another factor. And changing lifestyle. We used to, in the US, it's very normal. As a single person, you live in this 96 square feet studio selfie. Then you get married or you find a girlfriend, boyfriend. You move into a bigger space. Whoever has the bigger space will move into. And then you start producing kids. Then you buy a home or rent a home, which is nearer to the best school and other stuff. Then you go, after the kids have gone out of, we call empty nesters. Then we don't want this big, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom houses. So it's very normal. We just come back to a studio. If unfortunately there's a divorce, you go back to where you started with the 96 square feet of space. So that's what we all do in creating living spaces. Design for clothing. In those days, we used to have a very thick cotton was the available material for making fabrics. They were very thick. No longer it is thin. It's uncomfortable, maybe comfortable depending on the person. But we moved buying globally. Sources are available. You can then the terryline, terry cotton, all this material came. But they were causing a lot more damages, so therefore they went away. Then we got the blended fabrics, different techniques for doing the yarn, dyeing the yarn. All those things happened. So design used the opportunity for making clothing in a much better way. And today we are actually having clothing even made out of paper or natural fabrics like linen, jute, bamboo. Design for mobility. If you really look at it, we started walking as a child. Maybe some of us were able to afford a bike. We started going in bicycles to work, to buy groceries. Then we bought two-wheelers, 50cc TVS Suzuki kind of vehicles, because affordability. Then we got, even in that, we'll have to have 2 people, then kid can be held by the mom. Those kind of things we made. Eventually we went to cars. Today we have EVs. But today, after all these EVs, we are saying bicycle-friendly city. Copenhagen claims we are the best bicycle-friendly city in the world. We have so many blah blah million bicycles. On an average, every citizen has 4 bicycles, and they do with a nice little tie and all. You can see them going by bicycle. But in India or other countries, we think wearing a suit and going in a bike is not practical for so many reasons, right? We don't do that. But now we are prescribing. Mobility has become a big problem. Big cities are having traffic congestion. The same distance that used to cover 20 years ago in like 20 minutes now takes 1 hour and 20 minutes. So that's what design is coming to full circle to asking, creating. In the city where I live in San Jose, there were 2 lanes for car and a very small lane for bicycle and a small place for parking. Now the city has deliberately made one of the lanes wider and eliminated the second lane. What is this going to do? It's going to increase the traffic congestion. So what is that congestion going to do? Make people not use cars. So this is where the design comes into play, saying, how do we change your mind? Having 4 cars in a house to reducing it to 2 cars and not using even 2 of them, going by cycle or other method. So this is what design uses the opportunity to come with the solution. Similarly, for entertainment, we all used to go stand in line, buy the tickets, And then you curse yourself because you are in the second row because there was no way to know where your seat is going to be. Or you came late, that's the only place available. But today, and then we also had better theaters, air conditioned. You can put your leg like this and watch the movies. We can have popcorn, we can have a glass of wine, we can do all this kind of stuff. But despite the comfort increasing, the trend of the user changed, saying, I don't want to go to that 2:30 matinee because it's very inconvenient for me. That's the only time I can see that movie. No, I want to see at 2:30 a.m. when I'm not able to sleep, I want to see that movie. That's where, even in the planes, they have eliminated the screen, so they bring your own device. We'll give you the app-enabled key, you can see whatever. So we have moved in a circular manner where we started, where we began. So that's what design is doing in terms of, and the technology, everything works in the same 3 parameters I described earlier, namely the user experience, the technology, and the environment in which we are doing. Design for sustainability. So in some of the recent conferences, I was very happy to see larger companies like Adidas, they demonstrated a shoe that was completely made from recycled material. So how do you get the recycled material? They asked the customers to drop the previously purchased shoes. One of the constant challenges, how many of us have more than 2 pairs of footwear? Come on, be honest. See, we all have, I mean, it's not the gender here. We all have like so much of, footwear because we like it and we don't know what to do with that. Truly, we don't know what to do that. But Adidas came up with a solution where they get these shoes back, they recycle it, and then they produce very beautiful shoes. They demonstrated it and it's for real. Similarly, one of the challenges for people who are having pets is to clean up after their pets because, they need to do the normal things that pets are required to do, or human beings, we have a way to do. So they came up with a bag that can be, so what we do, we collect we wear it as a gloves, pick up the poop, tie it, and throw it in the garbage. So therefore, 2 problems. The poop remains poop, it cannot be disintegrated because the plastic is strong enough, it doesn't smell, you don't want it to leak, and you want to put it in your coat pocket, but that strong the plastic is, but it also causes damage because we cannot disintegrate the plastic to let the poop get disintegrated into the soil. So that's why they came up with the biodegradable material. The third one is the window. Again, design played a beautiful role where the window itself is having panels, solar panels, so that you can collect energy that will light up that particular room. And the next one, Pinatex, is a company in the US. They actually use the pineapple waste. Kerala could be a fantastic example for that. I will connect you to these people because we produce a lot of pineapples. Because way back in early 70s or so, I came here for a NCC camp to Nayatrangara, and I took a complete sack full of pineapple and jackfruit in the train right from Tirunananthapuram to Chennai at that time. So much of waste is being generated by these beautiful, wonderful, tasty fruits that can be reused. The Pinatex, the name Pina is for pineapple. So they produce beautiful, people don't like leather because you're hurting the animals and also not sustainable. So they created a beautiful range of products using this. And the top one is the one that is actually for fish tanks. You can buy the food for the fish can be in a recyclable 6-pack. You throw it in and then it gets used up. So this was our life a few years back. You want to buy something, there's only one store selling. Where did you buy this? Oh, I bought it in this store. Okay, I'm lining up to that place and buying this stuff. So it was not very difficult and you can only buy when it is available. Some things will come only for the Diwali or Christmas or whatever. But today, this is what we are into. We make it very delightful experience, at the same time is also complex. Before, oh, that is very beautiful. Where did you buy this skirt? Oh, I bought it in Macy's. Okay, which department? And which Macy's? And then immediately you want to ask your group, friends, hey, how does it look on me? And there are software which will actually make you look in that particular fabric without even buying them. So you just go into the software, click your photo, it comes with the beautiful dress that you wanted to buy, and you ask people, you're not happy, you ask your people, and then eventually you end up buying. But design is great, so we solve this problem through technology, and the user experience is something that we want to keep in mind while we are designing any of the design challenges. And there are people around us who constantly influence us, they motivate us, they demotivate us, depending on how you take a chance in these kind of people. And these are only few. I can go on and on in this kind of influences around the society and around us. So therefore, this is a simple at the top. This can be replaced by better technology and better user environment. So I think that how to include design in today's business. Because at the end of it, we are all here for some commercial success as well. Otherwise, we'll be in trouble. So we need to really look at how to study what is needed. As I said earlier, ask the tough questions. If you are a designer or if you are a city planner, don't just take something that comes and say, oh, okay, this is cool, I want to do it. You may have missed the most obvious thing that you should be taking care of, and you don't want to find that after spending several years and several $1 million. Product design is very expensive. Marketing is even 5 times more expensive. So that's what you need to do. Never stop asking questions. To the point of annoying people, you need to be asking questions, because that's where you'll get the actual need, that what you are going to design for the challenge. And keep the user in mind. As I said, everything can be rounded on 3 parameters, right? User experience, technology, and the environment. If you keep those 3 elements in your mind and look at the value of design, you can see why you need to do. So don't design for just getting an award, because award will go away. Somebody will get a better award than you. But you want to create an impact. You want to create a product that people will remember. And if you solve the problem for 1% of the population, you've done a great job, which is not easy. And visualize, if you don't, that's what designers do very well. We don't accept the words. We want to, in fact, one of the colleges I was trying to do a workshop, and then I said, I want some 50 post-it pads, some 12 colors of inks, and they were asking, sir, I just have one question. Why do you want 50 pads? I said, we want to really take the thought from the people's mind into something. We want to be on a wall where we can walk around and see what we can do. So when we do the Protopolis or World Design Capital, this whole room is full of stickies. And we kind of group them together so that the ideas from that corner could be resonating to these ideas. So how do we move them together in a quick fashion? That's why we need the sticky. So we do that. Similarly, do the role play. Make one of us as a user, one of us as the technologies, one of us as the political layer or whatever. That gives you clarity. That's what we need to do to solve the challenges of design. Mutual empathy, we don't have to say that. Ultimately, create, evaluate, recreate, reevaluate, recreate, reevaluate, until you find acceptable solution for that environment again, that user, that technology, that environment. There's nothing set in stone. These will move. That space at which it moves depends on the technology and the user. So don't get frustrated. You spend 2 years to come up with a product. In 3 months, that went out of fashion. It's very likely to happen. And finally, create experience, enjoy, because that's what we are all here to do. And all of us are designers. Don't worry about the design education or your degree coming from some design institution. All of us are designers. If you did not have the opportunity to go to a design school, nothing is lost in life. So you can still create, because we are all living in this, the big mess that I showed you. So every little thing that we can do will make us a better citizen, and every little thing a city is doing will make a better city, and everything that we contribute to the world will make us a better world. Thank you.